Welcome to Nasdaq Trade Talks. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq. Joining me is CarParts.com CEO Lev Peker and CFO and COO David Meniane to discuss the e-commerce automotive aftermarket and the transformation of the company. Gentlemen, it's great to have you with us. Welcome to Trade Talks.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us.
All right, and tell us about CarParts.com.
Yeah, so CarParts.com is a company that focuses on delivering parts to do-it-yourselfers. So our primary customer is a consumer that's fixing their car, whether it was an fender bender or it doesn't start. Our goal is to deliver the right parts for their vehicles and to do it quickly. And so we're opening a Texas facility right now, and we'll have 4 facilities by the end of this year. We'll be able to deliver parts to 61% of the country in one day. And our goal is to get to 90% of the country in one day, because we're trying to solve a consumer problem of not being able to get on the road. And so we'll continue building out our supply chain to get closer and closer to the consumer. And we are vertically integrated, so we source our products ourselves, we do the quality control, and we warehouse them in our own DCs. And so we're able to pass on the savings to consumers as well. So if you go to carparts.com and compare our pricing to let's say going to an Advance or an AutoZone, you're usually able to save 50 to 60% on same quality parts. So again, as we get closer and closer to the customer, we believe we'll continue capturing more of that demand.
Well, you're doing something right, because the second quarter of 2020 earnings showed net sales increasing by 61% to a record nearly 119 million versus 73.7 million in 2019. You also saw gross profit increase by 88%, setting another company record. What was the catalyst behind the performance?
Yeah, I think it's a number of things. You know, number one, we really built an exceptional team. We spent the better part of last year bringing in fantastic individuals, some from the automotive industry, some, real operators, just incredible energy, very dynamic, always talking about crushing the enemy. So, we have a fantastic team. Number two, really refocusing our efforts and our resources around what we think are our core competencies, sourcing, doing quality control on private label, like Lev said, bringing them to our DCs, and then solving the customer's problem as quickly as possible. Number three, making really targeted, disciplined investments around marketing, technology, data science, our catalog. And the results show, like you said, if you look at private label revenue in Q3 of last year, we were up 15%, Q4, 15%, Q1, 40% year over year. That's all pre-COVID. And then after COVID, our top line revenue grew 60% year over year, as you mentioned. So definitely some good results.
And CarParts.com recently went through a massive rebranding with its new CEO, Lev, of course, and David, CFO, and you're also the COO. What was the strategy behind that, and how does it help to set the company up for future growth?
Yeah, I think there were a few things there. I think the primary reason for the rebrand was to reflect that we're a technology company first. And so as you think about kind of what we're trying to build and the transformation that we've undergone over the last 18 months, we've really tried to build a technology company first. So what we're trying to do is, what Wayfair did to furniture and Chewy did to dog food, we're trying to do that within the auto parts world. And so the primary reason for the name change was to position ourselves as a technology company. And then also, a lot of people were familiar with the story of US Auto Parts, and we just wanted to reposition the company and say, look, it's a brand new management team. We have a lot of new people. We're in a new office. We're a new company. We have a new direction. And so this also helps us reposition ourselves as kind of a new company for people that were familiar with the story before.
What are your expectations on the other side of COVID-19 as it relates to consumer behavior and the auto replacement cycle?
So I think there are a few things there. We are historically primarily focused on collision repair, and miles driven continue to be down. And so as we diversify our merchandising mix, we think customers will continue doing the repair themselves as we get into a recession and they look for ways to save money. I think on top of that, the average age of the vehicle on the road is about 12 years. So we have probably the oldest fleet in the history of the United States. And that will continue driving maintenance and repair parts as consumers keep their vehicles on the road longer. And then nobody's going to be too keen to get on an airplane or a bus or a train for some time. So we think those trends will accelerate miles driven, and will continue driving the automotive aftermarket.
All right, Lev, David, thanks so much for joining us on Trade Talks.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
And thanks for joining me. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq.